Kyle, how you doing, man?
I'm great. It's good to see you too.
Yeah, good
Man,
to
how's
see
your family?
you.
The family is good, man. Everybody's just laying low, trying to stay out the way of this COVID. You know how that goes.
Yes.
Man, I know it's cold in the city right now, huh?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, that wintertime coming to Chicago, you know how it gets.
Man, I'm
That
happy to see
wind
you,
hit
though,
your
man.
body. That wind hits your body. You don't know what to do.
Exactly. Well, let's get to y'all, man. Y'all got a big thing happening, man. Fatale, the movie, finally getting released. I know it's been a little bit of an issue. Well, before we get into all of that, I kind of wanted to start with the title of the movie, right? And I was like, Fatale, like, why did they name this movie Fatale? And I went and I looked at it and I was like, the definition: a seductive woman who lures men into dangerous and compromising situations. And that's exactly how it plays out in this movie, man. Hilary Swank, she killed this role, man. How did you guys, and I'll start with you, Deon, what was the process of getting her involved and her just being in taking on that role in this film?
Man, when we first, David Lowery, who wrote The Intruder, I gave him a phone call. I had this idea for this movie, called him up, was like, yo, I got this whole movie. I'm going to pitch it to you. Can you write it? And he was like, I'm writing right now while you're talking. And that's how it happened, man. And what was ultimately going on at the same time was I had already been thinking about her. There was an idea about all these names, and her name just kept ringing in my head because I knew that she could be what Glenn Close was to Michael Douglas in Fatal Attraction, meaning unassuming. You would never think she could be sexy or hot. You know what I mean? I'm like, no, I think this girl right here, I think this lady right here could do all of those things. And man, we went and met with her. She fell in love. I fell in love. I was like, oh, we got to go make it. And she was like, let's go do it. And look, let me say it one more time for everybody out there listening to WGCI.
Yeah.
2-time Academy Award winner. Put some respect on her name.
On her name, right?
you talking about $1 Million Baby. And, and she came and she was like, Deon, I'm in, man. And me and Roxanne got a deal done. Roxanne produced the hell out of this film. And I think we got the thriller of the year.
No, it's super dope, man. I definitely enjoyed it. And Roxanne, let me take that back to you as a producer on this movie. What were some of the challenges that you had just, making this movie come to life?
Well, I think, being an independent company, one of the biggest challenges is always, not having enough money. You know what I mean? And we did this movie for under $6 million. And, to shoot in LA is super challenging, to get those locations, get an A-list crew, only have 25 days to shoot. You're working 16, 18-hour days. And I got to make sure that the director gets what he needs on that page so we can have a movie. And there is no coming back. So, you know what I mean? Trying to make it as comfortable and go as smooth as possible without rushing people along. Like, hurry up and go. That's my whole, like, come on, we got to go. We gonna run out of time. Like, no pressure, but still allowing them to get what they need and having the time, because unlike the other bigger budget movies, you don't have the flexibility of shooting a scene over 2 and 3 days. We're doing, 10 pages, 6 to 10 pages a day. So it's tough, but, listen, we've been able to be flexible over the years. We've learned how to get through it. I have a great A-list team. We know how to be turnkey and support Deon. And so, there's no challenge that I can't fix. My job is to keep all the noise away from him so he can focus on the scene.
I don't expect that there's any problems, but one thing I always thought might be kind of interesting is a lot of times when these movies, we have largely white cast and largely white production teams. And every once in a while you have a black star here, a black star there. And with your movies that you guys are producing, with a black-owned company, a predominantly black staff, what has the conversation been like, or has there been a conversation with some of the white actors on your sets, like Hilary? You know what I mean? Like, how does she feel as though she fits into the role of this entirely black environment, or does that even come up at all?
No, we try to, it doesn't come up because number one, we're doing something that's above bar. Secondly, what's ultimately happening with us as Hidden Empire, we're making universal pictures. So what does that mean? That means that we're trying to take our actors and put them in a world on screen that looks like the world that we live in. I have no issues with no one that makes, and I've made them too, movies where everybody's black. Like, that's cool. But what I'm trying to do is make sure that we begin to trend internationally. I'm making sure that we got that Denzel Will Smith vibe, which is you've never questioned who they're opposite on no screen, right? Will done play opposite Latino, Denzel done been opposite Indian. It don't matter. And it's just a man acting in a film and you see yourself in that movie. So we tried to do that vibe with Ely. I tried to do that vibe with Naomi Harris, opposite Frank Grillo in Black and Blue. Tried to do that vibe with Megan Good, opposite Dennis Quaid. You know what I mean? It's just the energy that we trying to put out there where it's kind of like, no, man, we making universal films where it's us in the leads of these movies with everybody else that we love. And that's how we got to make Michael Ealy and Hilary Swank get together in this thriller, and everybody's like, this is crazy. You know, look, everybody loved The Intruder, man, because he was living under the house. No one could guess that, Kyle.
Right.
Now, I'm gonna tell you, I made you a bet on WGC. I was like, yo, Kyle, they're not gonna believe what's gonna happen at the end of this film. Now, I'm here a year and a half later, and I'm gonna tell you on Fatale, you not gonna guess the end of this one either.
Right, you're not. And you know, you said that because I was going into my next part of the interview was every 15 minutes, you know, you're into the movie, there's another layer that gets peeled back. And it's like, oh my God, how do we get here? You know what I mean? And I don't like to give away the movie when we're doing these interviews, but there's depth to every single aspect of this movie. And I thought it was very well written.
Man, I think David Lowery did an amazing job. And, you know, me putting those touches in to hit the urban demo the right way. But the most important message in this film that people will walk away with is, what is the most important thing you have in your life? So when y'all watch, Chicago, when y'all go watch this movie, this to all the youngsters out there.
Yeah.
Understand the most important thing you have is not that belt, not them cars, not that phone, not that watch, not that chain, none of that. The most important thing you got is your name and who you are, period. That will follow you through life for the rest of your life, right? And I think this movie explores that really, really well, man. And people get to go like, damn, that's a cold message in the middle of a thriller. All right, I'll take it.
Yeah, no doubt. Fatale is definitely out for people to see now. But before I have to wrap this up, I wanted to ask y'all about the project that you all did. And I'll start with you, Roxanne, that you guys filmed the movie during quarantine.
Yeah, that was the top of July. I mean, it was just getting started too. So we were one of the first films to go into production. And, you know, it's called Don't Fear. It's a horror movie, and it has, you know, T.I., Joe Sikora, Ito Photo. I mean, all kinds of, you know, high level talent. But the thing about it is we thought it was important to go into production so we knew what we needed to do. We didn't know all of the uncertainty and all of the unknown about filmmaking. We thought, okay, we're in an area where the numbers were low. There had been no deaths. Let's try to get this together and see what it is to make a movie during the pandemic. And it was really hard. I mean, I had a 60-person crew and 6 cast members. And I think the biggest thing for me was, by the way, I'll never shoot another $1 million movie again. No, I'm kidding. That was the hardest thing ever. You know, probably more for Deon than me because, you know, let alone having 6, you have $1 million, you really have to be on your toes, you know, and you're wearing multiple hats. But I mean, the hardest part is ensuring the safety of your crew and your cast, you know what I mean? So when you're rolling around these testing, making sure everybody's doing what they're supposed to do outside of the set, I was a nervous wreck. I mean, we were celebrating like it was somebody had a baby every time everybody's test came back negative, you know, high-fiving, jumping up and down. It was like a celebration. But I'm glad that we got to get through it because now we know what to do. And now it's getting more flexible with the movies now. You know, it costs money. You got to have all your PPE and all that in line. But, you know, it was a great experience for us to do. So we know what to do, you know, moving forward.
Well, Kyle, let me say this before we get off of this line. She jumped over the most important thing that you asked. Do you know who's in Don't Fear? Man, we talk about Chicago's own Joseph Sikora.
Sikora, no question.
We got Tommy, man. We got Tommy's next movie, man. So all y'all out there, just know Joseph Sikora is opposite T.I., is opposite Terrence Jenkins, is opposite King Batch. We got a dope horror coming up, man. So that will be right after Fatale. we're gonna be back. And this time when we come talk about Don't Fear, man, we're gonna be in front of you live, man, because we're gonna be past this thing. But definitely, man, Fatale is out right now. I know Chicago, I know the theaters is closed right now. We hoping that in the next week or two, you guys get a light and some of them theaters open up for us and you can go see this movie safely, because it is hey man, it's that thing right now, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yo, I love talking to you both. Thank y'all so much. Fatale in theaters. Everybody to go see it. I can't wait to see y'all in person, man. Y'all take it easy, all right?
Take care. Happy holidays.
See you later. Brother.
All right.